When I decided to let my hair go gray 6 years ago at the age of 50, I figured I knew pretty much what to expect. I knew that I'd probably get some pushback from friends and family about being too young to go gray, or that I might be mistaken for being older than I am, and those things did happen and they didn't surprise me one bit. But what I didn't expect was this. You get called brave a lot, like every day, by women you know and even women that you don't know. It sounds like a nice thing, but honestly, it starts to get a little irritating after a while. Your hair becomes the hot topic of conversation among your friends and family. Walk into a room and then bam, you find yourself surrounded by women who want to talk to you about your gray roots, and then they want to talk amongst themselves about why they would never do it. Having a sense of humor really helps in this situation. You become a selfie snapping narcissist, taking pictures of your gray roots coming in at all angles, in all different kinds of lighting situations, and against different backdrops. I have never taken so many pictures of myself in my life as I have since I went gray 6 years ago. It's at the point now where if something happened to me and the police had to take my phone in for evidence, they would think I was the world's biggest narcissist, and Keith Morrison from Dateline would be questioning whether I was a good wife and mother. But I don't care, it's fun. But you know what's not fun? Your children or grandchildren might see your gray hair coming in and start to worry about your mortality. After all, gray hair is still seen as a sign of old age in our culture, and it's going to take a while to change that perception. One of my children was 13 years old when I let my grays grow in. He was used to seeing me with very dark brunette hair, and he didn't realize I was almost fully silver underneath all that dye. I didn't even realize that myself. So when my hair went from dark brunette to fully silver in what to him seemed like a very short time, he became concerned that I was very ill or even dying. He was upset. And when he finally confided this to me, I had to reassure him that I was okay, that this was just my natural hair color, and I was finally letting it out. And it's not just me, I've heard this from other women too. One woman wrote to me and said that her small grandchild just became inconsolable when she first went gray, because to her, the natural progression of life was having dark hair, then you get white hair, and then you die. So this is something to keep in mind, and you might want to talk to young children about this as you're going through it. And even your adult children might have a bad reaction because seeing your hair come in gray seems like a sign of mortality to them. So it's something good to be in the open about and to talk to them about. Now let's move on to something more fun. Let's talk about boobs. Boobs? Why is she talking about boobs? You're probably asking yourself right now. Well, I bring it up for a very good reason. As most women have experienced, unfortunately, sometimes when you talk to a man, he talks to your chest instead of to your face. My eyes are up here, as many of us have found ourselves thinking or even saying. Well, the good news is that your gray roots will take all the attention off of your boobs, up past your face, where it belongs, and straight to the top of your head. While I was transitioning, I caught both men and women staring at the top of my head. And what's really funny is I'm taller than average. So sometimes I would catch shorter men and women craning their necks uncomfortably to see the top of my head and to look at my root. They didn't even know they were doing it, so it didn't bother me. Honestly, I found it kind of hilarious. But speaking of men, here's something that really might surprise you. When you are in the middle of going gray, men start coming out of the woodwork. I got a ton of attention from men while I was going gray, and I still do. Men love gray hair. Now, not all of them do, obviously, but many of them do, many more than we had ever been led to expect. Men write into my blog all the time saying that they wish their wives or their girlfriends would go gray, because to them, gray hair is a sign of confidence in your own skin, that you know who you are and you love yourself. And as we all know, confidence is attractive. It's one of the #1 things that attracts human beings to each other. Obviously, this isn't always the case. I do hear from women whose husbands or even their wives or their girlfriends are not supportive of their transition to gray hair. But let me reassure you, if you've been told that men will no longer find you attractive once you go gray, that is blatantly untrue. Your gray hair will also affect the women around you. I'm talking friends, strangers, colleagues, and acquaintances. I call it the silver hair domino effect. Once other women see you out in public rocking your naturally silver hair, they start to see gray hair as a legitimate choice, sometimes for the first time. And this happens even if you never say one word to them about it. By going out in public confidently with your gray hair, you are sending a message to other women, and more importantly to the younger generation, that it's okay to be gray. Now, speaking of the younger generation, don't be surprised if the older generation gives you grief about going gray, but the younger generation gives you nothing but compliments. Young people of both sexes seem to love it, but many older people, especially many older women, emphatically do not. Try not to take it personally and just enjoy being your fabulous self. But don't be surprised if, while you're out in public being gorgeously gray, you come across people who flat out refuse to believe that this is your natural hair color. People ask me where I get my hair colored, and they are shocked when I tell them that this is my real hair color. I think people have a preconceived idea of what gray hair is. After all, gray hair comes in all different shades and tones, but they have their own idea of what it's going to look like, and they have a stereotype in their head, and when your hair doesn't match that stereotype, they have trouble believing it. In fact, sometimes you find yourself in the very strange position of having to insist that yes, this is your natural hair. Honestly, it's a great and fun position to be in, except for those rare occasions when somebody digs their heels in and thinks you're a liar. And that unfortunately does sometimes happen. Now, obviously you know that this is your real hair color, but do you want to hear something strange? Even years after transitioning, you might find yourself being startled by your own reflection in a mirror or a shop window. It happens to me, even though I'm a full-time gray hair content creator and I love my gray hair. But even I am sometimes surprised to see me with gray hair. Who is this woman? And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad surprise. It's more like startled delight. But sometimes I do get a jolt to see myself with light colored hair after spending 50 years of my life with dark brunette hair. And I don't know if that ever goes away. There's a famous story in my family about my great aunt Margie. She went to the makeup counter in Marshall Fields in Chicago years ago to buy some lipstick. The makeup lady handed her a tube of lipstick that she thought would look nice, and Aunt Margie opened the tube, took one peek at the lipstick and said, "Hot pink lipstick with this red hair?" And the makeup lady just looked at her dumbfounded. That's when Aunt Margie suddenly remembered that she had gray hair. In fact, she'd had gray hair for many years by that point, just like some of the women in my next video. Make sure to watch this video for a great slideshow of women before and after they went gray. And if you did enjoy this video, if you found it helpful, fun, or informative, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you here next time. Thank you so much.